Jain Dosto, I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and I'm very proud, privileged, and I feel very, very honored to have with us a personality who needs no introduction. And I will tell you, though he needs no introduction, but I will tell you a small little thing. In the year 1991, my parents got me admitted to a boarding school in Ooty, Lawrence School, Lovedale. So I was in junior school. I went one day to the prep school. And in the prep school, there is a role of honor, right? In every school that has that. They are board, they are names written on the board of the head boy, vice head boy, prefects, outstanding achievers, basically. So at head boy, I think, and I saw a very nice name over there. And the name read as Vikram Singh. I think it was probably the year 74, 75 at that time. On the though sir's batch of 82 of Lovely, that's a different thing. So I read this name Vikram Singh over there, and head boy, I was like, wow, okay, that's very nice. It was, and that time I was not even a teenager, ladies and gentlemen. And that name over there was the year before I was born. Thereafter in junior school also, roll of honors, head boy, vice head boy. So vice head boy, the same. So we had a bet one day. This, the vice head boy over here, Vikram Singh written over here, the same guy who was head boy prep school. No. उस टाइम पे तो यही था कि भाई अपने बैचमेट था, you would refer guy that way. Anyway, later on we got to know that same Vikram Singh got the best all-rounder student, name is there as well, the roll of honors, and after passing out, that same Vikram Singh joined the army, did his graduation, and went to the Officers Training Academy, Chennai. And he passed out with the Sword of Honor and a gold medal. Topped the batch, basically. And yes, and had a very, very illustrious career, whose younger brother also is serving in the army, a general officer again. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, here I come forward, and there's a very lengthy introduction. I'm not going on that formal, typical 4G introduction, so when you read out, no, sir, whatever general officer, he's held various staff and command appointment. I'm giving a very informal introduction because I can take the liberty because of the old school tie. And sir is my senior school, and so, sir, welcome and thank you very much for sparing time, sir. Jain, sir.
Jai Ali, it's always good to talk to you, and it's good to read your exploits and to see after such a wonderful career in the army, you went to acting and then coaching and now a TEDx, leading TEDx speaker, international. It's so good to be with you, and thank you so much for having me on your show. And I'm so proud that it's you whom I'm giving my first possible interview after retirement. It couldn't have been better. Couldn't have
Sir,
been better.
so you're in for a surprise. You're in for a surprise. I unfortunately did not know that you retired on 30th April. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, we have this 4G group, old Laurentian 4G group. So there somebody asked, anybody in Mau? And that's where General Vikram Singh, the helpful personality he is, he straight away responded, I'm here, though I retired a few days back. So I was like, when did General Vikram Singh retire? Because sir, we had just spoken a couple of months earlier when one of our old officers had got stuck in the avalanche. And that's the time I said, oh, sir, I wish I had known that time. Sir, my loss. उसी दिन शाम को कर देना चाहिए था sir. Are reminiscing our old school memories and your experience in Forge. Anyhow, so thereafter I said, sir, you went for a surprise because you will not know, sir. You will start getting a lot without. I took the liberty again of sharing your number with a few television channels, and they are going to be calling you up on defense matters. So, and especially you have, they will be totally, you'll be surprised when they call, sir. So that's And I feel very happy, proud, and privileged that you said it's the first interview you're giving post retirement. Many more to go, sir. Sir, now let's
Thank
start
you
with
so
your
much.
school days. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Let's start with
Yeah.
school days, sir. Tell us about your first day at Lawrence School, Lovedale. You went in class fifth. How was it?
Yeah.
And of course, your brother had not joined perhaps at that time. You went alone, or what? Did he join in class fourth and you joined in fifth?
Yeah, we joined together. Actually, that's the reason my admission was delayed by a year, because parents wanted both of us to be in the school together.
Sir,
So that's how I got to join in fifth, and Vijay got to join in fourth. And he still holds that against me, saying that, see, I am the more Laurentian than you, since I have done more years than you. So that he always has that hand over me. Ali, the first day was quite a day. Actually, parents had come to drop us off, and I, being the elder one, had always had I always wanted to keep my, you have that protective uh, feeling about your brother. You don't want him to be, feeling, getting anything wrong ever. So I still remember, if you remember, outside prep school, there used to be, there was a small, a sculpture on a pedestal where a mother was cradling a child. And
still there, still there. Yes,
so
yes.
I remember my mother telling me there, in front of that, Kisi, whenever you remember us, just look at this and think that your mother is here always with you. And all I just remember is that my dad, of course, didn't say anything, being the I mean, that's how the fathers were in those days. So he didn't show much emotion, and he just said, "Okay, look after yourself." And he went and sat in the car, and me and my brother, we touched our mother's feet and turned around, and I just held his hand and I took him. I said, "Let's go," before he could start, sorry, crying, or before both of us could be crying and being seen by our parents crying. So we just quietly walked into the school, and both of us were in Kaveri House. I mean, they gave us the same house, so we had beds next to each other, and we just probably sat down, and we just was in sort of a daze, because never been to boarding school, so we don't know what to do. And suddenly somebody said it's bath time, so we saw everybody getting their towels and clothes, and so we also just picked up our towels and clothes and joined the line. So that's how the school started. Yeah, that's how it was.
Sir, amazing, sir, amazing. So, how was it having a younger brother there? Did you ever, because in our school is known for the kind of ragging and the bullying, so to say. So, were you shielding him, or did you also give him his bit of share from your side as a senior, sir?
Okay, yeah, later when I think about it, I probably thought I was a little too harsh on him in that way, to show that you are equal to everybody. So probably I may have been a little more stricter on him, and especially when I became the head boy of prep school, you didn't want anybody to say that you were giving favors to uh, any person. So I thought I used to pick on him a little more than the others. It was that I didn't really shelter him from anything. But I guess being the younger brother of a batchmate, I mean, they generally have that kind of a regard. If other guys doing about 20 push-ups, they'll ask him to do 15 push-ups or something like that. So I mean, that kind of grace he always got. Yeah, but never. I never shielded him from anything. But I also discreetly kept an eye that nothing goes wrong with him. I mean, that's how it is.
Sir, sir. So, and how was it being a head boy? I mean, prep school head boy, suddenly fifth May I, and sixth May, now you are wearing three stripes on your shoulders. And of course, we had a khaki uniform, the same battle jacket, and the same military traditions. And you had to lead the guard for the proper school guard and all. How was it as a head boy and, walking with three stripes on your shoulders as a head boy, sir, in prep school?
Honestly, Ali, I had no inclination that I was going to be appointed head boy, and there was this assembly, the first assembly after we came back in sixth class, and the prefects and were being announced, and my name was read out as the head boy. I absolutely was zonked. I had no idea what it entailed, and what was to be done, and and suddenly it hit you that you have a lot of responsibility. Now, you would remember peculiarly in our school, I don't know, it may be in other boarding schools also, as prefects, you had a lot of authority in the sense that the routine discipline or the turnout of the students or their behavior of class was totally left to the prefects. I mean, they were the ones responsible for that. I mean, whether they were falling in time for breakfast or falling in time for dinner with other doing their dress checks. I don't remember any housemaster or anybody doing that. It was just left to the prefects to do that. I think right across the school till senior school. So when that dawned on me, then yeah, it became a little. Then probably I became a little more stricter, and I started, taking things. I may have taken it to the extreme in the sense that a little more military and little more, not giving. Even my own classmates, I think I was pretty strict with. I remember that, especially during when we used to have those prep times and the prep after dinner. The prefects used to look after it. So we were pretty tough lot on those times. And as you grow older, you find, yeah, this is probably not the right way. And that is probably one of the bigger lessons which I took along the way when later in life, when you joined the forge and you got to in command of men, and then you carried a lot of those experiences and a lot of those things which you thought you've done wrong and you could have done better. Being thrown into a situation of leadership that early, one learned lessons very early in life about leadership and how to handle a situation, how to handle peer groups, how to handle juniors. It gave you a great experience and hands-on. I mean, and in Lovedale, it was like absolutely hands-on. There was nobody coming in between. So those experiences are wonderful. And maybe in sixth class, I had a lot of friends, a lot of enemies, probably because of being, that prefect and strict prefect slots. But all in all, I think it was a wonderful experience, and it gave me many valuable lessons in life. Many valuable lessons in life.
So coming over to junior school thereafter, sir, seventh and eighth, though there's a lot of difference between a seventh grader and an eighth grader in junior school. That's the maximum. In fact, 1 year it makes no difference when you are 11th and or 12th. But in seventh and eighth, din raat ka farak hai. It's like boss and pizza. Class eights were bosses and the class seventh were pizzas. It's like nines and twelves. Big difference, huge difference. Like an academy, sir. 6 months
Yeah,
difference. 6 months is like nothing. But 6 months difference in academy is like in OTA, junior first term and senior term. So seventh and eighth. Now, sir, how was it in junior school? How was the experience? The court triangle, very close to the stables. And I'm sure it was there in our time when I joined in seventh, sir, in junior school. The stables were there and the road leading to cemetery and the court triangle and 67 steps overlooking we were right below that. So I'm sure it wasn't this. It was more or less the same during your time, sir.
it was the same for us. It was a quadrangle, and I was in Himalaya House, and we had seventh and we had eighth. Now, when you became a prefect or a head boy in eighth class, it is not a happy situation in the sense that there's only seventh class that you need to look after, which anyway is so shit scared when they come into junior school from prep school that they anyway behave themselves. But you are a lot of pressure from the ninth onwards, the senior school prefects. So everything in junior school happened in senior school, whether it was assembly or whether it was going for the movie or going for something. We had to all walk up there, and you were already constantly being badgered by the senior school prefects for being late or the school not reaching in time. And but yes, it was a sort of a kingdom of your own in the sense when you were down in the quadrangulars in our time, they just started the basketball court also in the middle of the thing, and the stables were close by. I was a rider then also, and we had a lot of playground moving backwards towards the cemetery. So we used to play. I don't know whether you guys used to do. They used to play this game called Bang Bang. Now,
Oh
Bang Bang
yes.
was that you had two teams, and one team is to hide, and one team is to search. So, there were very broad parameters given. Ki, nobody goes left of the road, and the huge jungle was there, and you had to run around looking out for these guys, and now when you look at it, the kind of exercise it gave you, running around, the escape and evasion feeling, the trying to hide, and it was great fun. Our Saturday and Sundays used to probably go playing those games, and not to forget being closer to the orchards, we had these tremendous raids in the
Oh, yeah.
orchard which we used to do. And as senior batches used to go down, we used to pick up, these pears. They used to be growing there, plums. They used to be growing in the orchards. We used to go and pick them up, get caught by the malik. He used to threaten us, and we used to run away from him, and come back with pillowcase full of and in fact, I think one of probably we were the first batch who did that daring raid of the bakery. In those days, the bakery used to be in prep school, in junior school, and everything was baked there, and we used to go on top. So one of uh, uh, not taking any names, some of our guys decided to raid the bakery, and true enough, they raided the bakery in the night, and all the goodies were taken, and the obviously next morning they got to know that the bakery has been raided, so the search had started, and they didn't believe anybody else could have done it other than junior school. So the eighth class people, and when we realized that things are being they are being checking, and we had taken out a lot of sugar and cake, and so we didn't know where the
Icing,
hell to hide it.
icing,
So
burnt
people
icing.
so we started putting it in places which were so obvious that any stupid jerk will go and find it there. And lo and behold, we all got caught. But the subtle difference between the teachers of those days was that they took it as a probably as a prank, and they punished you just that much to tell you, okay, it was a prank, okay, you did a good thing, but then it's not the right thing to do, and they would just probably spank you a bit and then let you go. So
Sir,
that used to be like, I mean, that kind of patience or that tolerance, I don't think we see in the teachers nowadays. I mean, they were, and we had such wonderful teachers. So that episode, it could have been resulted in somebody getting expelled and somebody, but nothing of that's happened. Nothing of that's happened. They just said, okay, guys, you did not a good thing. You shouldn't do this. You wanted something. You should have asked for it, etc., etc. But probably they appreciated the adventurism of the whole episode, and they just gave us some, I think, basic punishment, and they just left it at that. No letters to the parents that your son was caught doing this, or everything was settled within the school, and that's what Lovedale was all about. You really learned your lessons, and the teachers always put you on the right path. That was the
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. So, after school, you finish school from Lovedale, and of course, we can, when two Laurentians talk, they can go on talking about school and they'll cover nothing else but school, school, Lovedale. In fact, our spouses, for that matter, they'll be like, Arey, you guys talk nothing about school. You guys talk nothing about 67 steps, cemetery, tuck shop, bakery, grass pitch, big hills. I mean, Smith's Cave, there's prep school, girls' school, there's nothing more. But talking about Bang Bang, I don't know आपके टाइम पे था कि नहीं था हमारे टाइम पे था I don't mean to sound sexist over here at all but we had something called as Dame touch
yeah,
था आपके
yeah,
टाइम
very
पे
much, very much, very much, very much. You know. My first conversation with a girl, conversation as in making conversation, was probably in, I think, 8th or 9th class. Till then, if you spoke to a girl, you were found a guy's talking to a dame. I mean, like, look at this chap. What a stupid guy is he? That kind of a thing, But dame touch was
sir
very much there, very much there,
sir
very much there.
sir
But of course,
so
over the years when we grew out of it and got to know the girls, but I think we owe them a lot in the sense in them making a gentleman out of us. Otherwise, I mean, we could have gone and
oh
without
yes
learning the correct
oh yes
etiquettes of how to be with a woman and how to treat a girl, how to dress. I mean, they used to when we got friendly, they used to tick you off for your English, your pronunciation, the way you dress, the
oh
way you
yes
talk. So, I mean, those things I owe to my classmates and the girls in school that time, who actually taught us how to be a true gentleman. It's I owe to a lot of these girls of mine, class fellows of mine, who actually taught us how to be a true gentleman.
very true sir very true sir when I was 3 months old my parents were doing their, my father was doing a staff college, and he had left from Wellington. He had gone as staff captain to General Jacob in Calcutta. They had registered me actually for the Doon school when I was 3 months old. But after my class fifth, I failed the entrance test of Doon school, and thank God for that. And thank God for that. so I, so now coming to your journey after school, sir, because school की बात करेंगे तो बस इसके लिए एक अलग सेशन चाहिए. इत्मीनान से बैठ के स्कूल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. So after your school, so tell us your life after you left the sheltered portals of the Lawrence School, Lovedale. उसके बाद की आपकी जर्नी बताइए सर हमको.
Okay.
I'm aware. I've read up this. I'm sure our viewers over here would like to know all this, sir.
Okay, that was another interesting thing. See, Ali, when I was in 12th class, I was probably it is the best time of your life, and you had a lot of appreciation from peers, and I was doing well in sports. I had got a call from the Tamil Nadu State Cricket Association to just come for the selections for their under 19 team. And they said, you just come, that is all. We don't want you to show anything. We've seen you playing. I was playing with the Nilgiri district schools team, and they had seen me playing, and they said, you just come. We need you to just come and join the team. But our principal then, Mr. L.A. Vyas, he put his foot down. He said, son, it's your 12th class. I can't let you take this call. And he just didn't let me go. He said, no, you can't go for that. You have to concentrate on your studies. And I said, fine. I mean,
when you joined school, who was the principal that time? Who was the HM that time?
Yeah, Mr. L.A. Vyas.
He was there throughout.
He was the principal. Yeah, he was the principal. And so he said, okay, then I said, fine, okay, then. And by that time, I had sort of convinced myself that we are like you. I mean, we have a lot of things in common. We are both Fauji brats. We are both second generations. We are both Laurentians. I've had I'm actually my fifth generation. I'm the fourth generation serving. Somehow my mother probably right from the beginning had put it in my mind not to join the force, because she had a tough time in the 71 operations when my father was a PW in Pakistan for almost a year, and we didn't know whether he's alive or not. So, and it must have been a miserable time for her. We were too young to really. 71 war, 71 Daruchia. 71 war, Daruchia, so 14 grenadiers. I mean, it was a miserable, it was one of the failed attacks, but they lost almost 9 officers and 150 other men in one night attack. My brother's written a book on that. It's called 1971 Prisoner of War. It's on Amazon, so anybody can look at it. A lot of my classmates have already read the book. So she didn't want me to join the forge. So, and I had also sort of decided I'm going to do medicine. And I left school and said Delhi University is the place, and that's the guy. All the coaching happens there. Do the coaching and join the thing. And dad being dad, he was posted in Yole camp. He said, okay, son, here's $500. Go get yourself admitted in school and do what you want to do. I looked at him like that. I said, I mean, going to Delhi, never been there. He just gave me a few references. He said, these 2, 3, 4 people we know. You can go to them and, see what you can do. So, but then school teaches you a lot of things. So first day, I think I slept on the railway station. Second day, I slept on the bus stand. Third day, I got my admission. Fourth day, they told me there is no hostel. So then we found places. But to cut it short, that 1 year after I joined the thing, joined the coaching classes, slogged my ass off, probably more than even 12th class. And I didn't pass a single exam. I didn't pass a single medical exam. So I said, okay, don't give in, never give in. 1 more year. Second year, again, I went to the whole...
I took special coaching to go through NDA. I bakaida extra classes leke NDA ke liye tayari kari, and I failed my NDA entrance test.
So I went through the whole thing again. Second year, I said, okay, no, one more try. And I was doing BSc. So there my grades were failing. And here I'm spending time. Second again, same situation, complete washout. Third year went into retrieving my grades from the first and second year to get them into a respectable score. And the plus side of all this was that my brother saw this whole thing. He said, I'm not going to do any of this. He straight away sat for NDA. He cleared and he joined NDA. Said, I am not going to do through all this nonsense of going to Delhi, joining college and all that. So he straight away went into NDA and he joined the 70th course. And then I worked, Ali, for a year in Delhi after doing graduation. I said, okay, if this didn't work out, let me see something else. I had interviewed for McNeil and Mager in the tea estates, and then I had there was a company called Bharati Electric Steel. They took me on as a management trainee. In those days, management trainee concept had just started. So they took me on, and I did about 7 months with them. I realized, boss, this is not the way to go. This is like getting up in the morning at 6:30, riding a bus, coming back at 9:30, nothing else but desk job, factory, desk job, factory. I said, not my cup of tea. Quietly gave the OTA exam because maths was a Waterloo always. So those days OTA, you had to just clear English and general awareness. Cleared the exam, and the parents got to know when the SSB letter reached them. Your son is required to appear for SSB. So my mom gave me a call. Ye kya hua? I said, I can't do this. Civil life, it's not my scene, and I'm going. So she said, very reluctantly agreed. And dad, of course, had no comments. He said, fine, go pass your SSB. And we passed SSB, joined OTA. And since then, the graph went up and everything started looking good. So probably that's the first time in life I realized that there is something called destiny in one's life. I mean, one can't sit and wait for it to happen, but what is destined will happen. You can do what your utmost to do what you want. Because I was convinced the kind of studies I had done for my 12th class, for my medical, if I had done 12th class, I would have probably scored 80-90% marks. But I just wanted to get into it so badly, but didn't work out. So I mean, then joined the Forge. And Forge, again, Ali, was good because I joined my father's unit. I had the privilege of getting commissioned in the same unit. Though I had options of, I had actually 3 ways. Being the topper, as you know, you can choose what you want. You can get what you want. Second, I had a parental claim for 14 grenadiers because my father had a Veer Chakra and 14 grenadiers in the 71 war. So I had an option of going there. But my recent memories were of 17 because after he came back from Pakistan, my dad was in 17 grenadiers for the better part of time. So I remember more of people of 17 grenadiers. So I chose 17 grenadiers to go there. And then things that started looking good. We took the normal career profile. And it was interesting to reach where we are today. I owe it to the Paltan. I owe it to my teachings in school to a great extent. Being exposed to leadership in such a early stage really held me good stead right along till I finished my command of the division and I've come to Mao. It was school actually was everything for us, and what we are today is school and nothing else. I mean, there is no.
So
I won't try
one
and
of my
put anything else. Of
father's
course, your parents' wishes, everything is there, but we are what the school has made us. I mean, I have
so
no bones about
one of my father's seniors, in fact, a very dear friend of his, he was settled in Ajmer, Brigadier Raza. He's from
that.
Grenadiers, sir.
I know.
Sir,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
was my sister's local guardian when she was studying at
Okay,
Sophia College, Ajmer. So even she also
okay,
lost
okay,
incidentally. She was 2 years senior to me, and
okay.
so she and Gulpanaga batchmates, very fast friends.
Oh,
So
okay,
in
okay,
Sophia Ajmer, that time Brigadier Raza was her local guardian there. So,
okay. Incidentally, my wife is also Sophia Ajmer.
oh, whoa, that's wonderful, sir. What a amazing connect, sir. So, and my commanding officer from the Assam Rifles in Nagaland, he is a grenadier officer, sir, Brigadier Gautam Ganguly. So he,
Yeah, of course.
sir, I'm
What a
very much in
fine
touch with him,
gentleman.
sir.
What a fine gentleman.
What a fine gentleman, sir. Exactly. I keep kali baat hui meri unse, and I'm in touch with
Uh,
him, sir. We are regularly in touch, in fact.
okay,
So,
okay.
sir, and then tell me in academy, sir, when you went, like a lot of people in our time, I'm SS 76, though it'll be like
Okay.
you say, Are yaar, SS 76 now, and mere baat sir, abhi SS, I spoke to an officer, he's SS 130.
Yeah, it's long time.
I was like, what?
you, you
And
you
senior
can
officer,
feel old.
I said, you are SS 130, I'm SS, and I felt, oh my goodness, मैं अभी भी academy grade में हूँ actually. I still haven't grown out of that, sir.
Uh,
So a lot of people who came to the academy, in fact, SSB करने आए थे उस time पे, and they thought कि भाई SSB पास हो गया अब ऑफिसर बन गए. A lot of
Uh,
people think that, who especially civil backgrounds, but वहां जाके funded clear हो जाते हैं sir. And now, how was your first day
Absolutely.
in the academy, yours and your other peers, your course mates, everyone, sir?
Okay. See, the fun part was when we got out of the railway station, and the 3-ton was there, which we were supposed to mount and get. We were all made to fall in, and we were Fauji kids, so we knew we had to be dressed in a particular kind of a way. So we were dressed in that kind of. A lot of guys, somebody in shorts, somebody in kurta pajama. He got them to undress right there and change their dresses. And he said, they said, sir, we'll go to. He said, no, you will undress here only and change here, change your clothes, wear what you're supposed to wear, and then only you will mount this bus. So that, was probably a biggest shock to a lot of guys who said, how can somebody make you do like something like that? But nobody had the guts to question. And we came to the academy, and we were allotted the companies. I got Kohima company. And so I was walking up. Kohima company in those days was just opposite the White House.
Right.
That commandant's office, which now is the LC cadets. I think it's the LC's. Yeah. So that used to be Kohima company. And I was climbing up the steps, and there are these 3-4 guys saying, yeah, who are you? So I knew you had to say GC. Again, advantages of being a second. So I said, GC Vikram Singh, sir. So he said, what? Vikram Singh Bhangi, Dhobi, Nai, what Vikram Singh? So I said, the Vikram Singh Rathore. Okay. So that name, all my course mates know me as Rathore, though officially my name is Vikram Singh. But everybody in the academy, my seniors and juniors, would know me as Rathore. So if you tell somebody Vikram Singh, they'll not probably know 43rd SS Vikram Singh, they'll know a Rathore of 43rd SS. So that's where we had. That's the first place. The first person I met was Paramveer Thapa. He was that PVC Thapa's son.
Oh, of course, sir.
Therefore, he's Dan Singh Thapa's son, and he was the first one. And he said, "Acha," and they're settled in Udaipur for many years. So he spoke to me in a broken Rajasthani, and I, had an immediate connect over there. Okay, fine, at least we know somebody to take. But I still remember when we walked into our. It was dormitory that time for us. There were no cabins, so everybody was dead quiet. Nobody knew what to say, whether you're allowed to say hi to your next guy or not, or like it was crazy. And lo and behold, this Tarzan-looking man, our CSM, retired later as Colonel Bhushan Naidu, 9 Para. He was a fitness freak and a hugely built man, a lot of muscles and all that. And he walks in a very soft voice, but a very tough personality. And he very quietly asked us, "Okay, why don't you show me how many push-ups can you do?" So आधी जनता को तो push-ups नहीं पता था push-ups होते क्या. So then they, when all that started, these guys said, "Boss, I didn't sign up for this. I came here to become an officer. Where is my gadi? Where is my this thing? Where is my room? Where is my? I'm supposed to have somebody, some buddy, some sahib. Koi nahi hai." So that night I had a long chat with all of them. I said, "Friends, this is not that life will come, but probably 9 months away." So it was an interesting.
You had a head start, I would say, because you being a Laurentian, मतलब आधा
Oh
फौजी
yes.
तो आप बन गए लवडेल में ही. वही मिलिट्री ट्रेडिशन,
Oh yes.
वही राइफल ड्रिल, सामी शास्त्र, बगल शास्त्र, बाजू शास्त्र, खाकी वर्दी, मतलब फुल बेसिकली फौजी बन गए आप लवडेल में उसके बाद. So do you think Lovedale helped you becoming the Sword of Honor and the gold medalist you got at OTA, sir?
Everything, Ali, everything I can, whether it starts from your routine of PT in the morning and games that we had in school, your etiquettes on the table, which we were forced, which we are taught in school, your turnout, how it should be, your shoes have to be polished, your buttons have to be stitched, your hair has to be combed. And you remember when we had our Sunday suits, you had to brasso your own buttons. And if you're in the band, I was in the band till I came to, I think 9th class, I was in the band. So, usko bhi sign karna, instrument ko bhi sign karna.
Band room mein.
Band room mein, हाँ.
Band used to get band room. And it was like guys, move to band room. बस इतना सुन लिया, move to band room मतलब बस skinning up. So which instrument did you
Band.
play
Then
in the band, sir?
I started with the bass drum.
Sir,
Started with the bass drum. Denzel Prince used to be the music
of
teacher
course.
that those days.
Arey, of
He
course,
was
of
the
course.
music teacher. So
Sir,
he's probably
I went back to Lovedale way back in 2014 to direct the Founders Play. I directed Fiddler on the Roof. I am batch of 98, but after many years I went to Lovedale. And I was like, and that in Denzel Prince had rejoined as the
rejoined. Correct.
bandmaster. Sir. So of course I had a very fond association with him that time. Sir.
So
We had
he probably saw my.
we did a
Sorry.
musical play. We did a musical play,
Okay.
Fiddler on the Roof. And we didn't
Okay.
play any recorded music. Fiddler on the Roof का music था पूरा
Oh,
live था, courtesy Denzel Prince.
he was a huge musician. Yeah, what a person. So a lot of us went to band just because of him, just because of him. And I was a slightly oversized person right from the beginning. So he said, bass drum, isi ko pakda. So he gave me the bass drum. I was very upset. I said, no, I want to play something more interesting. He said, you don't understand. Then he made me understand the importance of the bass drum. He said, unless you give the correct beat, the music doesn't play. The whole band doesn't come into sync. Your parade doesn't come into sync. So that is the importance. So then I said, this is a good thing. So I played the bass drum for quite some time. Then went on to side drums in the drums, pipes, and in the bugles and drums. Then in the senior school, I went on to play that. It was called a baritone. You know that
Of course, battery, yes, sir.
not the biggest one, the smallest in that shape.
Sir.
I used to play that, and the only charm of playing that was you could play in the evening orchestra. So if you played that instrument, you could play in the school play, and in the evening you could be a part of that evening orchestra. So we played that,
My
and
nephew
of
played
course then
the baritone, sir. After
baritone. Yeah,
my sister, my cousin, many of my cousins, and then my next generation. So my nephew was the head boy of
yeah,
2017 batch. In
yeah,
fact, Lieutenant Shaurya is in our group, in our OL 40 group. Lieutenant Shaurya
yeah.
and Ayan were best of friends. In fact, both of them
Okay,
acted in Fiddler on the Roof, the play that I directed.
okay, okay,
So
okay.
Ayan played the baritone.
Okay.
Sir,
So
sir.
after that, then of course, when since I'd become vice head boy, then you got into the flag and the colors and things like that. So I left the band. That time I only played the band in the evening for the retreat. I was responsible for the drummers retreat. So I did the drummers retreat and the evening orchestra
Drummer retreat
jazz.
में if you were looking after the bass drum, now dug 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 dug. Sir, sir.
So it was again. So if you look at it that way, then your skinning ups, which we used to do, your whether bench stretches or running around the building and all those kind of things, they all actually had gave us a head start in the academy. One was not knew exactly what has to be done about the dress. One knew exactly how physical fitness needs to be done. Marching we knew, rifle drill we knew, and so it actually gave you a head start. It actually
Oh,
gave you a
yes.
head start, and probably that to a large extent helped me in a big way to be able to be get selected for the sword of honor and things like that. So it was a great that was a great learning from school, and it actually prepped you for the fall in a very 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 major way. It prepped you for the fall.
Sir, when you came to the academy as for honor, again 3 stripes on your shoulders,
Yeah, yeah.
3 stripes. So did you feel
Please, sir.
nostalgic about your class six head boy in prep school, and now with 3 stripes in academy? आपको उस time पे I'm sure it would have crossed your mind कि जब मैं head boy था तभी 3 stripes, अभी यहाँ पे भी 3 stripes.
Yeah, yeah. It was it was a sort of a very good feeling actually, because it was announced much later. What had happened was initially in OTA they didn't allow
Sorry to interrupt, sir.
that time it was
I
two.
think your batchmate, आपके batchmate का comment आया, sir. I'm so sorry. I think he's your batchmate, perhaps. Ajoy Chakraborty writes, bass drum.
Yeah, yeah.
I
He
remember
saying
the drums
correct,
he
correct,
played
correct,
for We Are the
correct.
World along with other Kohimians. It was absolutely
Kohima,
amazing.
yeah.
Ajoy, sir,
In
good
fact,
evening, sir.
Ajay is doing a wonderful job in the Bollywood.
Okay.
He's acting in a number of movies and he's doing a number of web series. He's doing amazing. I'm a
Yeah.
gutsy guy who just chucked everything and went into Bollywood at a much later stage. But he's doing a wonderful job. We are so proud of him. So
Chalo.
when for us the announcement of the school under officer and the sword is simultaneous. So it's about just 15-20 days before you pass out that you are that the sword is announced, and once the sword is announced, then the school under officer is announced. So it's then when you get to. So it was a great feeling to start your education in with the three stripes and sort of ending your education in the way of saying education with three stripes. It was a great feeling. It was a great feeling, and of course there's a small anecdote I'll tell you about it, that the day with this award was announced, we decided to celebrate. And in those days when you come out of college, celebration means liquor, having liquor. And so we had bunked out of the academy, though we didn't need to, but we just sort of walked out and had this old monk rum for the first time. We had earlier we used to have the cheapest available rum, because in those days we used to get 70 rupees per month as pocket money from the government. So we could only afford the lowest quality of rum. So that day we had, and we all don't know how we came back. And the moment we entered the gate, we were stopped by the drill ustad. The drill saab. He was, God bless his soul, from the Naga regiment, and he stopped. He said, "दारू पिया hai?" He never volunteered. So he said, "नहीं साहब." "दारू पिया hai?" बोला, "नहीं साहब." Then he came closer. Then he says, "मैं अभी कंफ्यूज है, ये स्मेल मेरे से आ रहा है या तुमसे आ रहा है, इसलिए मैं तुमको रिपोर्ट देता हूँ, लेकिन दारू नहीं पीना है, बुरी बात है." And he let us go. So that was celebrating the sword of honor, and
So that
not
reminds
getting
me.
caught.
That reminds me again, when we were in OT, we were told that a few courses earlier, some GC had run away from OTA, मतलब बाहर for a liberty kind of a thing, not on Sunday, on a weekday. वहां पे उसको ड्रिल साहब मिल गए जीसी को. तो ड्रिल साहब, दो जो जीसी वाज इन सिविल ड्रेस सिविल में था, वो उसे ड्रिल साहब को देखते ही बोला, "जैन साहब," and he caught him. Similar incident happened, sir. What happened was, in fact, our commandant also is an OT alumni. हमारे टाइम पे जनरल सुधीर मोहन, a guardsman, was there, and then came General Sukhdev Avasthi. I think he was
Okay,
SS2, if I'm not mistaken, sir.
okay.
And then he was going by his flight to temporary duty to, I think, to Hyderabad or somewhere. So एक GC की इतनी हिम्मत थी, GC ने OTA से, क्योंकि एयरपोर्ट के करीब में थे, सुबह की फ्लाइट पकड़ के बंक मार के अपनी गर्लफ्रेंड को मिलने जा रहा था हैदराबाद या कहीं पे, और वहां पे तो कमांडेंट मिल गए जहाज में. And the GC was very happy, his crew card and civil dress and all. So the commandant told him, "GC, hey man, what GC mean? What are you talking about? I don't know what GC." Sir, please.
So a similar thing in school, in 12th class, we all decided to bunk after I think we had finished our written 12th board, and there was a gap between and on the way back, we got some of us got tired and they decided to hitch a ride, and they put their hand out to the first car which was coming. The car stopped. Two of them, rest of us didn't go. Two of them got in, and the person behind said, "Good evening." They looked around, they saw LA Vyas sitting in the car behind, in the back seat. So he asked, "Acha, where did you go?" He said, "Sir, we are going to see the movie."
आपने चेरिंग क्रॉस से ली होगी. चेरिंग क्रॉस to
No, you'll be surprised. This was near that railway station.
Okay.
Lovedale railway station, we stopped there for a cup of tea with that chai kada over there. So these 2-3 guys decided to take and they stopped, and LA Vyas was sitting at the back, and they asked him, "Okay, where did you go?" He said, "Sir, we had gone to Ooty to see a movie." "Which movie?" "Sir, we saw XYZ movie. It's a very good movie. You must see it." He dropped them back And again, the magnanimity of that guy, no word about it the next day to anybody. See, I caught somebody bunking and ye wo. He didn't even call the head boy and or me and say ki bhai I caught some. He just didn't, he said ki theek hai yaar. I mean, इस एज में this time maybe they have done, and he just didn't do anything, and nobody informed, no parents informed, no black letters to anybody. I mean, I used to wonder. I mean, you have that kind of a patience with the. We don't have teachers of those kind of patience. They would first thing they would do is shoot out a letter to your parents that your son was caught bunking to school, bunking from school and things like that. But anyway, so those are some good interesting incidents, and academy was good. It really shaped us tight, and you've been through it, so 9 months of absolute concentrated ragda, but it brings the best out of you. It brings the best out of you. There's no
Absolutely.
doubt about it.
So let me remind you a
And
fun
that's
anecdote. My father was also in a boarding school in Nainital. Irish
okay.
brothers ka school tha, sir, and the Irish brothers were like really strict and very, very committed. So, and in fact, many of the Irish brothers, some of them are alive and they are in their 90s. And my father still keeps in touch with them. And
Wow.
I know them by names because he talks very fondly of them. And, he visits his alma mater very often. And we had gone there for his 25th reunion.
Oh,
And
okay.
तो हमारी 25th reunion आने वाली है अगले साल, my batch. And so I feel इतना time हो गया क्या? My father was the commanding officer that time, and we would feel कि अरे बहुत, and हम छोटे बच्चे थे. I was in class 4th or something that time. So now I feel, and now my son is in class 5th. The same
Okay.
time when you went to school, in fact, to Lovedale. So, but how time
Okay.
flies, we don't realize. And so
Time flies. Yeah.
time flies, sir. So one of his fathers sent as he forward ना उनके एक Saint Joseph's का group है उनका. So my father forwarded that message to us. It was something, a very similar story. आपको भी ये forward आया होगा कहीं पे शायद. उसमें क्या है कि some boy was stealing in a class. वो छोटे बच्चे steal करते हैं pencil, eraser, sharpener types. So the teacher said, okay, let me check everyone's pockets. And they caught one child. They caught the child the eraser or sharpener, जो भी छोटी मोटी stealing की होगी. And later on, the child, after passing out, met that teacher. And the teacher, I am the same child you had caught once when I had made that mistake. The teacher replied to him that, son, I wouldn't remember, not because I have a bad memory, because when I was actually inspecting everyone's pockets, I had myself closed my eyes. So I don't know who the culprit was. I just moved. There's something very, very
Wow.
touching. Very touching.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah.
Sir.
No, so like school gave you a lot of friends, Ali, lifelong friends. In the academy has given me a lot of good friends and good course mates who've always been there with me throughout my 35 years. And and our course has been peculiar in that we have been meeting very frequently, and almost every second, third year we've started. Of course, we first was on the 25th year. I think we were the first batch of OTA which insisted on going back to school to OTA to do our reunion. And we had a huge opposition from the hierarchy there. But then we had one of our course mates, Captain Shibu, who was there in Chennai. He pushed his way, and we were the first batch which was actually allowed to stay with families in academy, in the precincts of in the cabins of the cadets, and that's where I think we then started the tradition of having your 25th year back in OTA. It was a huge success for us, and we just shot down everything that they put ki ye nahi ho payega. We said we'll manage. Ye nahi ho payega. We said buddies nahi honge, we'll manage. Mess will be closed. I said we will manage. Everything we managed, and being the sort of honor, and with Shibu being there, between the both of us, we could get the permission, and then of course Shibu took it away, and we had a wonderful thing. And that's the first, I think, the batch which actually celebrated its 25th year, staying like in NDA and IMA, staying in on the precincts of the OTA, and we are very proud of that. We have been able to do
There's a
that.
very,
So
very, very
again,
touching comment for you from someone called Ayush Kumar Pathak. Probably he sent the comment from his mother's ID. That's why Rita Pathak karke aaya hai. Sir, have you recognized me on that day who told you my name is Lieutenant Ayush Kumar Pathak, sir? I'm assuring you that you will be taking my interview very soon, sir. Jai Hind, sir. Very sweet comment. So that reminds
uh,
me, जब मेरे एसएसबी क्लियर हो गया था ना, तो मैंने घर पे
uh,
फोन लगाया पहले तो, और मैंने फोन लगा के एसएसबी क्लियर हो गया अभी, अब तो लगा के अभी अफसर बन गए, अफसर हिंद बन गए, वो प्लस साइन आ गया चेस्ट नंबर पे, तो मैं मतलब पिक द फोन. This is Lieutenant Mohammed Ali Shah speaking. And Lieutenant was like the ultimate rank, sir, for me. It was bigger than a general. It was bigger than the President of India. Lieutenant, matlab,
yeah,
Lieutenant. Sir.
yeah.
That comment reminded me of that. Sir.
So the academy was good. I mean, it has given me a lot of good friends, a lot of good memories, a lot of good lessons again in life, as how to take your team along with you, how to ensure that everybody. I mean, you won't believe it. Being the second generation and being a Fauji background, I was so insistent on the company being on time as a junior company. I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, do my morning business, get back to the bed for a nap for about 15-20 minutes, then wake up every blessed cadet of Kohima 18, that is my company, to wake him out of bed so that the company was not late. That company,
Wow.
if the company really reaches late for a fall-in, even if it's a punishment fall-in, you are had. So I used to wake up every single person every morning, pull his leg, pull his sheet, get him out of bed. That's how you learn as to what it means to be a leader, what it means. A leader doesn't just mean give order. And I keep quoting this in a lot of my talks. I said, see, as a leader, you are a leader, all right, but you continue to be a team member. You cannot detach yourself from a team. I mean, as a leader, you have to take responsibility of a task, a portion of it. You can't just say, okay, this is the task, you guys do this, I will sit and wait. You can't do that. So as a leader, you need to be there doing what the team is doing and not just supervising. Number one. Number two, I also learned that, and I keep preaching this also, that there is no point in, sitting back and with a lot of these WhatsApp crap going around, that the hierarchies, this is wrong, that is wrong. You can't waste your time worrying about why this, why that, and you're wasting your energy on something which you cannot influence.
Seriously.
But what you can do is what you don't like and what you want an ideal atmosphere, give it to the men you command, even if it is just 10 men, if it is just 20 men, if it is 30 men, if it's 120 men, if it is 700 men, if it is 20,000 men. If you can give that atmosphere to the people who are below you, because that you have the power, then you are worth your salt. You're not worth your salt sitting and cribbing about, okay, that guy, that boss did this wrong and why is he passed this order? You can do F all about it. You can do nothing about it. So why waste your time? Do it, but do what you think is right for the people who are below you. And the moment
Absolutely.
every person has that thought, your organization, whether it is the army, whether it is the corporate world, whether it is everything comes into place. I mean, that these are the two major lessons that I take away from these 35 years, and I've always said that be the change you want to be. I mean, that is such a profound saying that if you can do what you want others to do, or if you can create an atmosphere which you think is the best atmosphere, then you have done your bit. I mean, if you just come and pass your time cribbing that your boss is not good and is passing all funny orders, then actually I think you've not done
Sir, since you
anything.
mentioned about boss and leadership over here, sir, you have just retired 10 years back. You would now be flooded with offers of very high echelons because me being a, and OTA people, with all respect and all, my father's an ex-NDA. And but the OT people, though he was adjutant general with SS-17, SS-16 to SS-20. He was AQ Shivaji
Okay,
Battalion, sir.
okay.
So OT people, sir, like you and I, we worked for a year. Even I worked for a year, sir. Before I
Yeah,
joined
yeah.
OTA, ग्रेजुएशन करी, बाहर का एक्सपोजर देखा, बाहर सिविल में नौकरी करी विद जेनपैक्ट मल्टीनेशनल के साथ, फिर जाके ओटीए गए. सर, trust you me, so you are going to be flooded with whole, you'll be spoiled for choices, which because a lot of corporates are going to be chasing you left, right, and center, and now you're going to be taking a pick and you will decide कि कहाँ पे. So, and the biggest advantage is being a Laurentian, being a Fauji, we know the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss says
Correct,
I. A boss is
correct.
I. Leader like you says we. A boss says, get there on time. A leader says, let's get there ahead of time together.
Yeah,
A boss knows how it is done. A leader shows how it is to be done.
yeah.
A boss lets his people
Very
know where
true.
he stands. A
Very,
leader,
very true.
like you, lets his people know where we all stand. A boss takes the credit. A leader gives it away. यहाँ पे आपके बहुत सारे कमेंट्स आ रहे हैं. एक कमेंट भी आया था यहाँ पे, where you have often given credit to your juniors many times. यहाँ पे एक कमेंट आया था यहाँ पे. I wish I had highlighted that. वो एक और आया comment again from, thank you sir, you won't realize that how I am feeling right now sir, listening my name from such a senior officer sir, that gave me motivation. Thank you sir. That same person who aspires to be a lieutenant sir, who's writing for
Yeah,
another
yeah,
sir, superb sir. So it is going to be a different journey, a different innings altogether for you. It will be a start of a new day, and all your rich experience of 35 years, 3.5 decades, it's going to be utilized very, very well, and nation is going to take that service from you, sir, very, very soon. Sir, tell us about your command, because I a little bit told me where you had mentioned very clearly that my ambition in life was fulfilled the day I commanded my battalion. Everything
yeah.
that came thereafter was a bonus. ये comment आपने किया था, sir. So tell us about your
Yeah.
command.
See, Ali, I had God and the army gave me three opportunities to command. One was my battalion, which for me was the ultimate in the sense ki, because that is the only place where you can directly influence lives of about 700 men directly, and whether they smile or whether they cringe at your presence is purely and purely up to you. I mean, there is nobody else responsible for what happens there. It is such a fulfilling feeling, and I took it heads on. I took it running. I didn't waste a single day. My aim was very simple. All I wanted was that I must have a crack outfit, well trained, number one. Number two, well administered. And number three, peace and happiness at home. I just had these three criteria. So I trained them hard. If you speak to anybody who's been in my command in the battalion, he would only tell you that the only thing I did was push people for training. And I pushed them. I used to have this nasty habit of calling the officers over for dinner at home. And while they were going back, I would give the child of one of the company commanders a small lifafa envelope and tell him, "Ye ghar jaake na papa ko dena." And the moment the child used to give the lifafa, it used to be the code word for mobilization. So here at 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock after the party, he reaches home and he gets the lifafa which says, "Okay, you mobilize your company now." And the first time he gave me a phone call, said this message. I said, "Yeah, you know the code word, you know what is to be done." He said, "Now, Malika, now, absolutely now." And I mobilized them and I threw them about 50 kilometers away, and I told them in the morning I'm coming for breakfast to the company. And we are desert specialist groups. We operate in small groups. We've got that special role, so they are supposed to go and find a place for themselves, set it up, and be ready in the morning. So I used to tell them, and then what I used to do, I used to take the wives of that company, the ladies, the families of that company, and take them there and show them, ki, okay, this is what your husband does. So that tomorrow he goes to war, you shouldn't feel afraid ki mera husband karta kya. I said, this is what he does. Now you go and have breakfast with him, and then we'll head back. And the other way, and administratively, I used to push them for good food in the cookhouse for all their documentation to be correct, guys to get promoted. I was very strict on promotion, because promotion, I always felt you need to promote a guy for his excellence and not for any other reason. I mean, that is probably a lot of people didn't like it, but I said beyond a certain rank, you need excellent people, because they are in our unit specifically. A Havaldar is responsible for his section for operations independently. He gets his vehicle, his 8 men, his ammunition, ration, FOL. and he goes to do a job. Now, if this guy is not good, he's going to jeopardize the life of these 9 men. So I can't select a guy who is not up to his job. He may have been a good wrestler. He may have been a good, office guy. He may have been a good footballer. But I cannot put the risk of my 9 men's lives with him. So I had those things very clear. But when it came to administration, anything and everything that guy wanted, I gave. I mean, they wanted X type of food. I said, take it. They wanted X type of equipment. I said, take it. In fact, in the end, they said ki saab ka to actually okay saab. They used to call me okay saab because for everything they asked, I used to say okay. So they used to say Vikram saab to okay saab hai. मतलब कुछ भी मना नहीं करते. So I did a lot of new things also, like asking. There was a never a DJ in the unit, so I asked them. I asked the younger lot, 5 years in below. मैंने कहा New Year's आ रहा है. We were in Pokhran. I said, what do you want to do? तो somebody said DG साहब. तो मैंने कहा DG क्या होता है? बोला साहब वो जो गाना बजाता है. मैंने कहा वो DJ होता है, डिस्क जॉकी. हाँ साहब वही चाहिए वो वाला. So we got one disc jockey for them. Then we used to do a bada khana every Sunday. It used to be a lot of good troupes used to come, do some good dancing. And so one of the somebody came up and said कि साहब ये ना फैमिली मेंबर भी देखते हैं तो ऐसा डांस वांस ना अच्छा नहीं लगता है. तो मैंने कहा ये जो बड़ा खाना है ना, ये फैमिली मेंबर के लिए, ये उसके लिए जिसके फैमिली यहाँ नहीं है, उनके लिए है. वो आके है, फैमिली मेंबर का खाना घर में पहुंच जाएगा, उनको इसमें आने का जरूरत नहीं है. ऐसे नेक्स्ट टाइम ऑप्शनल है, जिसको आना आए. सिंगल मेंबर आएगा, फैमिली मेंबर जो आना है. नॉट अ सिंगल वन मिस्ड इट. एवरी ब्लडी फैमिली वाज देयर in the same bada khana. I mean, it was just those, you have to break those barriers. And that is where I just went heads on. I wouldn't listen to anybody. If I felt it was the right thing to do, if I had to fight with the district collector for my Jawan's case in court, I used to ring him up and tell him, ki, boss, this is not the way. It has to be done. And if you want, I can send an officer there, I can send a JCO there. But response was good, so we could settle a lot of issues. Very satisfying, Ali. The command in the battalion, I was yearning for more. They wouldn't give me. I was yearning for more. I was saying, मुझे 2 साल और दे दो. I'll be the happiest person. People were saying, यार 2 साल command की निकल जाए, कुछ ना हो. I am very happy. ऐसे से मेरे 2 साल हो गए, 2 साल और दे दो, कुछ भी होने दो. I have got no problem. I am willing to go. But of course, promptly after 2 years, they sent me. But again, all those lessons in school, all those lessons in academy of leadership and how to treat your men, I followed it by the book and by the letter and spirit. And I have had such wonderful experiences in command. I have till today, people call, I pick up a call, I never turn it down. I help wherever I can. Where I can't, I don't.
So I've personally seen that, sir. I've personally seen that. You had gone out of your way when Shanaz Noble was stuck in the avalanche. You went out of your way, in fact. अब जो मैं कमेंट्स भी आए यहाँ पे लोगों के बहुत सारे, that of course everyone is well aware of your helpful nature, sir, and that's what makes you stand out from anyone else, and people love you for that, sir. They really respect you a lot.
Very kind. People are good. I
must say, sir, your Pulton is very, very lucky to have had a commanding officer like you. You have been a wonderful brigade commander, wonderful division commander, 3 tenures of command, but ultimately, of course, your battalion command was ultimate. Nothing to beat that.
It's the hands-on command, na, Ali. It's the only command which, as a brigade commander, you can direct, you can give directions, but you're not actually directly influencing. You can push your way, you can supervise your way, but battalion is where you're hands-on. People look up to you for a yes and no. I mean, you are the guy who's going to say yes or no. I mean, that's what it is. So you have to be very careful. And there's this one incident where one guy was AWL for about, I think, 100 odd days. He was on leave. Okay, so he came to the Pulton and he came to the CO's Sainik Sammelan in the morning. I had done my homework. I had done my inquiry. I realized that this guy had, for no fault of his, had to be there. The situation at his house was such that he had to be there. So I came up. He said, "Ki saab, main number so and so. 102 दिन छुट्टी से लेट आया, श्रीमान." I just said okay, and I called the next guy. everybody was thinking that he just walked past, not even told him कि क्यों, why, bullshit, ये वो वैसे नहीं, I just walked past. Then the SM came, साहब आपने उसको कुछ नहीं बोला. मैंने बोला साहब आपने तहकीकात किया कि क्यों लेट आया है? बोला साहब नहीं. तो पहले मैंने कहा तहकीकात करो. Then he went and did tahqiqat. He found that this guy had gone home. He got into an altercation. He was injured very badly. He was in the hospital. Nobody got to know, and he was admitted. I had spoken to the hospital, so I was convinced that this guy was there for no fault of his, and he is. So that's the time. The third lesson which I'm just telling you. Everyone is good until he proves himself otherwise. You have to start with that slate. As a leader, as a team leader, you have to start with the slate that everyone is good until he himself proves himself otherwise. So you never go in with prejudices. You never go in with parochial mindset or nothing. Everybody is very good, outstanding officer, and that's the first line. Wherever I've gone to command, I said, for me, everybody is an excellent officer until you prove yourself otherwise. Option is yours. I mean, the onus is yours. For me, you're a damn good guy. And another thing of being a commander is that you need to have broad shoulders and a very big heart. I mean, that's the only comment I send to anybody who tells me, sir, I'm going to command this battalion. I said, yeah, just have a big heart and broad shoulders. There was a WhatsApp going around. You must have seen it. Mukesh, he's one of the...
Coursemate, you rock from day one. From one day in OTA, sport was waiting for you. Proud of you, Vikram. You made SS43 proud. Your course-mates commented.
I call him my brother from another mother. I mean, he's too close to even. I can't even explain how close he is to me. I mean, he's more than a brother. Anyway. That will take me on a different line altogether. So there was a WhatsApp going which said there was a photograph of a baby lion with a mischievous eye sitting in front, and the huge mother is sitting behind this baby lion. And the caption was, "Don't be afraid of what is ahead of you because of who is behind you."
Oh, wow.
And I caught this thing in when I was commanding the division, and outside my office door, entry into the GOC's office, I put this huge poster out like this with this big caption, "Don't be afraid what's ahead of you because of who's behind you." Telling them, you just go and do what you need to do. Baki main hu na. Why are you worried? I mean, just go and command. I told the CEOs, yeah, command karo life mein. Don't expect me to tell you what to do. I want you to command. Baki kuch main hu. I will look after. You don't worry about accidents. Anything goes wrong, I'm there. I will handle it. Tum to command karo. You just command without favor of anybody. Just command. I mean, that was my. These are the 4-5 things I can sum up as what I've learned from school, what I've learned from OTN, my 35 years, and this has been my mantra wherever I've gone. I've always followed this. And if you are a leader, you have to take it on head on. You can't apportion blame. You have to shed the credits, but don't apportion the blames. Have a big heart to accept. That you also know that God give me the strength to accept something which I cannot do, and so just don't worry about what you cannot do. What you can do, wo kar lo, and that is enough. And as a leader, if you are there for your men or for the officers you command, nothing can be better in life. And I've experienced that, both in my all 3 times. I have always had a wonderful team. I have always had a happy team. I have always had a good atmosphere, and I have thrived and grown younger in those environs. So
Sir, your
that's
way of thinking, your philosophy and your way of command reminds me of a very nice, very touching, a very emotional post I read on LinkedIn recently, where this officer, he was narrating, it wasn't a post, he was narrating his real life experience. So he mentioned that, in the first 1 week, when he took over as the adjutant of his battalion, he made a mess up while speaking on the phone to the brigade major of the brigade. And mess up kya tha? Mess up itna tha that he, after the call, the evening report got over, he hung up the call first before the brigade major could hang up. इतना
Oh,
मैसा,
okay.
ठीक है, तो पहले उन्होंने फोन काट दिया, तो लोग बुरा मान जाते ना, अरे जूनियर ने फोन पहले कैसे कैसे काटा, you know, that kind of stuff. And something else also, कोई रिपोर्टिंग में कुछ खराबी हो गई थी. So of course the brigade major must have complained to the commanding officer. And by evening, जब CO साहब ऑफिस में आए, he called the adjutant. कि the stick orderly came through the adjutant साहब that CO साहब ने याद किया है आपको. So he was sweating, जब पता नहीं अब डंडा पड़ने वाला है. तो CO साहब made him come here, sit down. Water, pani pilaya, chai pilai. Then he asked about how are things at home, asked about his mother, and asked when he had gone on leave last. Then he mentioned that this thing, you know why I have called you, right? This mother thing on your mind. Well, this has brought to my notice also, but don't worry about it. Just don't worry. Same thing, what you said. I mean, it reminded me so much of that. Don't be afraid about who's ahead of you. Look who's behind you, yeah. So that was fantastic. We need commanders like you, sir. We need leaders like you. Sir,
Thank you. Thank you.
sir, sir. Sir, there's a wonderful comment again for you by Ajay Chakraborty, sir.
Ajay.
In that post, SS23 NT is so proud of you. I have a special soft corner being a fellow grinder, Vikram and Chaudhary Rathore. In fact, just like पूत के पाँव पाले में ही देख जाते हैं, we never had. Amazing, sir. Sir, you are much loved and respected and adored by your juniors. By your juniors, I can vouch for. That I know. वो बात आप मेरे से पूछिए, मैं बताऊंगा आपको. Your juniors from school and from Forge. And here, your course mates, look at the loving comment they are showering, sir. Amazing, sir. Amazing.
They're wonderful guys. Yeah, they are all kind guys, and they're wonderful. They bore the brunt of my presence in their lives. So I think, but their family. I mean, you know it. You've also been through the same thing. Your school and your academy friends are your family, and they are your go-to guys in life.
Sir, in fact, my best friends are from Lovedale. I'll be very, very honest. Best friends are from Lovedale because, sir, जिस उम्र में हमने join किया, sir, we had such illustrious people. Also, you know, like Anand Mahindra is from Lovedale.
Yeah, correct.
Is from Lovedale. Akshay Khanna, Gulpanag. We have a lot of illustrious alumni, and
correct.
we do not know anyone's background anywhere. We have
absolutely
from the Richie Rich to Forge to humble background to all kind of background. हर तरह से हर जगह से लोग आए हुए थे, and हमें मालूम नहीं था कौन कहाँ से, because our motive was nothing but plain friendship.
Correct, absolutely.
आपने भी गौर किया होगा सर, जब कॉलेज करने गए होंगे आप, तो अच्छा इससे दोस्ती करूंगा तो फायदा क्या होएगा, उससे दोस्ती करूंगा फायदा क्या होएगा, यहाँ से क्या मिलेगा, but Lovedale में ऐसा कुछ नहीं. Our motive is nothing but pure friendship, sir. We just love each other. And
I mean, you're right. Absolutely, Ali, because till we left school, I didn't even know whose father was doing what and what was the background. And we just knew the person, what was his habits, what were his traits, what he got from home, because in our days, there were no mobile phones. So as is, our parents never came. We didn't have this monthly outings and in fact, the clothing was much more stricter in our times. You couldn't bring your towels also from home. You had to use whatever came in school. The only thing we got from home was the razai. Otherwise, the uniform, the shoes you got from home, but otherwise nothing else to show in the sense that I am rich. And nobody did that. And I only much later in life, when you went and met them, then you saw, okay, this guy's from such a affluent family. This guy's from such a influential family, and you learn that much later. It made no sense as long as you were in school. It made no sense. I mean, you never even ventured in that direction to, ask about. You just knew him as a person. You didn't worry about what his father was or what his mother did or what the family did. We also had many huge guys, and today a large number of them are doing so well. I mean, we are so proud of them. But whenever they do meet and they come home, I mean, they're guys who are multi-billionaires, but they come home, they will still sit with you on this floor and they will still drink that dirty chai from that dirty mug. I mean, they have no problems that way. I mean, outside he may be doing whatever, but when he's in the group, there is nothing, because वो ना हमाम में सारे नंगे थे. So you really have nothing to hide from anybody. I mean, you can't put up a front to any of your class fellows because they know you inside out, yeah. Especially if you have been in school from 5th or 4th class, They know every facet of your personality. There is nothing that is hidden from them. So there is no point even trying to put up a facade in front of them or put up a front, because they will just see through it in seconds. I mean, and they'll thrash you down within seconds and bring you back to what you actually are. So, I mean, that's the greatness of having gone to Lovedale. And, you made friends for friends' sake and not for the sake of his background or for the family that he belonged to. And that was pure, plain, and platonic friendships. I mean, these were like so pure and so lovely.
सर आपसे बात कर करके गुफ्तगू में सवा घंटा यूं ही निकल गया, मालूम नहीं पड़ा बिल्कुल भी. Where time
I,
flew. It's I'm mesmerized speaking to you, sir. It's बहुत मजा आ रहा है, sir. And before we let you go, sir, how was your last day in uniform? Must be very, very nostalgic, very, very emotional, sentimental. I would like to know that, sir. It mustn't be a good feeling. I mean, I don't know how it must be for you.
see,
Before you tell yours, I would like to tell you mine, sir. Though
yeah,
I did
tell
only
me.
5 years. I did only 5 years. My last day in uniform, sir, you not believe it. मैं सुबह से लेके रात तक मैंने अपनी वर्दी डाली. Where we used to be
Acha.
like, where we used to be like, I don't want to wear uniform. I want to the first option moment wear your jeans, t-shirt and chill out. तो मतलब I had the option of wearing my civil dress, but no. मैं सुबह से लेके रात तक अपनी वर्दी डाले रखी. फिर when I was removing my uniform, I was feeling so bad that I will not be wearing it again. I mean, it was I can't explain that feeling. That was my day. I would like to know from you, sir.
See, everybody kept asking me, "Yeah, you're going to retire. How are you feeling?" It actually didn't. For me, I was not dreading it, or I was not, like waiting for it, or I was not, contemplating ab kya hoga. I had nothing. For me, I always felt, yeah, it is a part of life. It will happen. So in that way, but around me, everybody was a little nervous. Now, like my father, we are blessed that he stays with me here only. My father and mother are here. My younger brother's got posted. He's here in Mau again, in the same war college. So it couldn't have been a better place to retire. The whole family is here. So, it was a Saturday, and Saturday normally civis hota hai. But the magnanimity of my JC wing guys, they held an exercise on that day. They did an outdoors on that day. They said, sir, in outdoor, you'll have to come in the morning. We are starting at early. So I said, fine, I'll come. I mean, for me, it's a normal working day. So I went there in the morning at 7:15. We went through the exercise, 9:30 in combat dress. So came back to my office, and then the commandant, we met the commandant, me and the guy whom I gave the charge to, and saluted, had a cup of tea there, came back to the office, signed a few documents, and handed over the charge. And nothing was, for me, it was just working out as another day. And when then they said, okay, sir, that traditional rasa kechai, they pull you out of the office. So they mounted me on a jeep, and that traditional Vikram Saab ki jai, Commander Saab ki jai, etc., pulled me out. Till then, again, nothing. And I said, okay, chalo, good. 35 years gone by, very happy. Reached home, and the gate wasn't open.
Okay.
Normally, ring up from there, Saab aa rahe hain, so the guys at the gate, he's opened the gate didn't open. I said, ye kya hua? So the driver was party to the whole thing.
Okay.
So we stopped there, and then the gate opened. And there was a lot of dhol bajawing there. Da-da-dun, da-da-dun, da-da-dun. I got off the car. I said, what the hell is this? There I see this entire family lined up over there with, with garlands and, that dhol wala is there. And my wife was the first one to garland me, hug me, give me a kiss. And then my daughter, then my niece. And there was a couple who has been with us right from the early days. We know them. They were there. And my father and mother were waiting. We walked in with there, and that's the time that's the first moment of weakness when I saw my father standing there to welcome me back after 35 years. And that the thing that struck me then was that when my father retired in 1992, both of us were in service. None of us were there when he retired. I mean, like, I just realized what a cardinal mistake in life he had made. that we were not there to welcome him back home when he was coming back on retirement in Bikaner. And we could have been there. He was in Bikaner, I was in Pokhran, I think Bikaner, in Badmer. My brother was close by. We could have just taken a day's leave and come and welcomed him back. But that thing is what struck me the most, that we didn't do this when my father was there. And there I see my father, who has a little problem in his mobility now. So he stood up, I touched his feet, and he gave me a hug. He garlanded me and he said, "Welcome back, son." And then my mother was there. My wife did the traditional aarti. That was a weak moment. That was a weak moment, and that was a moment when it really hit there is a phase of life which has finished. Happiness in that. There's a phase of life which I didn't do correct, not receiving my father, and especially when I see my father being there to welcome you back, and he's the same gentleman. When Prakram happened, we are a scout unit, so we were told 4 days in advance that we have to move out, and we were told it's for the good. So coincidentally, my parents happened to be in Ahmedabad that day with me, and I woke up. It was afternoon 3 o'clock when I got the call. I was officiating as the CEO. I got a call and they said next 2 hours, first company move, all equipment, ammunition, everything. So I got the hint. I told my dad. I woke him up. I said, "Dad, next 2 hours I'm leaving. This is the orders and this is what it is." So he just got up and he said, "See, on the lighter side, in our family we have a tradition of being prisoner of war. Your great grandfather was in the First World War. He was a prisoner in Italy. Your grandfather, Jaltika Khan, and they were all contemporaries of Two Field. They were all together prisoner of wars in in the African campaign, and they were out for about another 4.5 years." He said, "You know me. I was a PW in Pakistan for a year plus. So now, if it is the real thing, it is between you and him, you and your brother. You have to decide who's going to carry the tradition forward. Which one of you is going to be?" So my brother probably says it's going to be him because he's the guy who's going to go ahead. I'm the tank guy. So
And
then,
you
of
being
course,
the
on
other one.
more serious note, he said, "Okay, I'm going to tell you what my father, that is what his father told him when he was going to the 71 war. He said the pain of your loss will be far easier to bear than the pain of getting you doing something which you should not have done in war."
Oh
So
God.
he said, just
So,
remember that. He said.
so
So
that reminds me of the letter Captain Vijayan Thapad in 1999. He written to his parents before he went for the final assault on the enemy. And I
yeah,
read this letter in academy, and I was so inspired by it. It just got entrenched in my mind. If you permit me, I'll just recite it. It's a 2 minute
yeah,
letter,
yeah.
sir.
Please.
So Captain Vijayan Thapar wrote, "My loving Papa, Mummy, Granny, and Bertie, by the time you get this letter, I would be observing you all from the skies or enjoying the hospitality of Apsaras. I have no regrets. In fact, if I were to be born again as a human, I would choose to join the army and serve my nation. Whichever organ needs to be taken should be taken and donated. Please donate some money to the orphanage and continue giving rupees 50 to Ruxana every month. And please go and meet Yogi Baba. I hope the sacrifice of these brave men is remembered and inspires generations to come. Papa, you must be proud. Mama, so must you. And please go and meet Yogi Baba. And Mama, please go and meet, the name is withheld. I loved her. Mama ji, please forgive me for anything wrong that I may have done. Anyhow, it's about time I go and join my clan of Dirty Dozen. My assault party has 12 chaps. Live life king size. Yours, Robin. Jai Hind. What a letter. What emotions, sir. I mean, what feelings. And he was martyred after writing this letter when he went for his final assault. He was awarded the Veer Chakra posthumous, of course, which Captain Vijayan Thapar's father, Colonel Vijayan Thapar, received it on his behalf. Sir, I was in conversation with General Bhupender Singh, the ex-Lieutenant Governor of Andaman and Pondicherry, just before this conversation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was mentioning he was commissioned in 1965, and a few months in service, he went for the 1965 war, and then he saw the 1971 war. And that time, Field Marshal Karyappa had actually briefed them. And in fact, he had raised his battalion, 17 Rajput. And he had given the Nara, the war cry, everything for 17 Rajput. And Field Marshal Karyappa's son was taken as a prisoner of war. And General Ayub Khan
Correct.
from Pakistan wrote to him that, don't worry, we'll take care of your son. He said, nothing doing. Please treat him like any other normal prisoner of war, like any other soldier that you have taken. Sir, and more respect to you, more power to you and your family. Your family has been serving our nation for so many years, so many generations. We are indeed indebted to you for your services and for your entire your sweat, your blood, your dedication, your commitment. It's unparalleled, sir, unmatched. And before we part ways, sir, any last message you would like to give to the youth of our country? Because there are many messages over there, which unfortunately I'm my apologies, I couldn't highlight all. Many people aspire to be like you, sir, who want to join the army. Any message you would like to give to the youth of our country, sir?
All I can say is join the army, live the life that you always wanted to live. The feeling of commanding men in battle is unparalleled. You will never be able to get that feeling anywhere. And no other profession in life gives you the power of the life of men you command. And so it's that responsible a life. If you have the guts, if you have it in you, join the army, you will never regret it.
Absolutely, sir. You said it. Boys and girls, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, Wales, at the raw age of 21, you could be commanding over 100 men who live and die by your word. So the general said it absolutely correct. Sir, thank you so much for your time. Indeed, grateful to you and really enjoyed. Sir, bilkul dil nahi kara to let you go, but I reckon you got other things to do as well, and you have a lot to go on your plate. Thank you very much, sir. Jai Hind, sir,
Thank
and
you,
never give it,
thank
sir.
you, Ali. Thanks, Ali. Never given, and God bless you, and keep doing the wonderful job that you're doing. It's so nice to see you shining there.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. I'll just end this live, sir. Just stay on, sir. Just
Yeah,
I'm ending the broadcast.